Proptech funding. Is time for Asia finally coming? In this session, we are delighted to have 5 esteemed speakers to share their views and experience in this topic. Let me briefly introduce the moderator and the panelists. We have Dr. Daniele. He's the president of Malaysia Proptech Association, the co-founder and CEO of Propernomy.com. Next, we have Alan Lim. He is the principal advisor for Nexia Angels, and he is also the president of MBAN and investors of many startup companies in Southeast Asia. And then we have Kashminder, the co-founder of pitchIN, an equity crowdfunding platform in Malaysia, and he is also a WTF accelerator. And we have Vincent Soh, the founder and CEO of MoneySave. It is world's first P2P financing platform with risk reduction incentives. And last but not least, we have Jason Ting. He is the co-founder and CMO of MHub, Malaysia's leading end-to-end property transaction platform. With that, let's start the panel discussion. Dr. Daniele, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Angela, and welcome Alan, Vincent, Kesh, and Jason. Welcome to our EPS 2021, Asia Pacific Proptech Summit 2021. When we talk startup, when we talk tech startup, above all, we know that one of the biggest pain points we all are having as founder, co-founder, CEOs, CFOs of these startup. When we talk about funding, we want to cry. We want to cry because we don't know how to approach. We approach someone at the very early stage. We always hear the rule of the 3F, family, friends, and fools. I always prefer to use the word followers more than fools, because I hope they are not fool. If I call them fool, hardly they will give me money, right? So I prefer to call them friend and followers. Come, come, come. So beside that, we just maybe raise a few 10,000, maybe 100,000, or maybe if we are lucky, a couple of 100,000 Malaysian ringgit, giving every sort of promises. We will be great, we will be big. Then after that, we are still too young. We have our product passing through the proof of concept, being developed and distributed in the market, but still our revenues are very low. And our capital, our cash flow needs are very high. We need tech people, we need talents, we need to buy new technology, we need to buy data, we need to buy different ways, different tools to make our startup really successful. And today we are here to show to our members and to show to the public what is available today in Malaysia. Malaysia is a very regulated country, and from this point of view, very safe, meaning you are not jumping in the hands of unscrupulous investors. We have invited today 3 very, very established and very straightforward organizations with us, presenting 3 different ways, promoting 3 different ways of providing cash flow, providing funding to startups, from the very pre-seed stage with Alan and Kashminder from Malaysian Business Angel Network, Alan, and pitchIN, Kashminder, till the seed and A stage, A series with Vincent. Of course, we also have here a living proof that it works, because we have been inviting also Jason Ting as a co-host of this session to help us in understanding how MHub, at the early stage, they are no more a startup, more moving towards scale up. So maybe, Jason, you should talk a bit more with Vincent later on. And they have been definitely approaching and using and experiencing a lot of rejections and a lot of winnings. So let's start with each one of you in maybe 2 minutes, starting from Alan, then we go to Cash, and then Vincent. Tell us the core of your proposition to startups. Alan.
Hi. Thank you,
Hi.
Dr. Daniele. I'm here representing the Malaysia Business Angel Network. Just a quick couple of sentences about MBank. in short for Malaysia Business Angel. We are an association for the angel investors in Malaysia. And the work that MBAN does is that we bring on angel investors as our members in our association. And through that, we do a lot of education awareness building about angel investing, the right and the wrong way of doing it. And through that, right now, we have about 300 plus members, and they are all certified members. Certified here means that, first of all, they need to meet the financial criteria, which is they need to be a high net worth individuals. So with that, we are ever ready to take on the startups in Malaysia to look into the investment need of them.
Very good.
If there's anything that I would like to add here as a start of the conversation is that, Dr. Daniel, you mentioned that startup is crying, looking for the funding. If I may add, I think the angel investors, on our end, we too are crying, looking for startup to invest in. So the feeling is very, very mutual. It's for the same reason that why we are here promoting ourselves, looking for startup to invest in. But I have to add this. The reason why investors and startup are not meeting face-to-face and get the investment done is the magic box in between the investor and the startup. Investors looking for startup and startup looking for investors. The magic box here is what makes the difference, and that is that unless the startups got themselves validated well with the right metrics and with the investors' money, they will grow their business. So unless that is done properly, this is where the mismatch happen and investment flow are not going through. So saying that, if I can just hand it back to you, Dr. Daniel.
Very good, very good. So we have angel investor and startup that are communicating, but somehow there is a misconception, misunderstanding, wrong communication channel, kind of. I would say it will be my next question to you, so that you can start thinking about it. What can be done about it? All right? I'll come to that after the round. Cash.
Sure.
Cash, pitchIN, one of the very successful crowdfunding licensed company in Malaysia. They've been crowdfunding several of our members. One of them is running now, I think, still running properly, Frank, or closed already. I cannot, I should be either still running or closed, and they've been helping MHub in the past. Just tell us in a short 2 minutes all about pitchIN.
Thank you, Daniel. You've helped me with the introduction. Yes, so we're an equity crowdfunding platform, pitchIN. Been running in Malaysia for 5 years now. And as you say, yes, we have helped a lot of companies to be funded. And actually, for those who don't know, equity crowdfunding could be the solution to all the issues that we discuss here today, including that just been raised by Alan. So what equity crowdfunding does, and we are licensed in Malaysia, by the way, so we are a regulated platform, we follow guidelines, is that we help companies to raise money from a whole range of investors, right? So companies that come to us have access to retail investors who put in as little as just 1,000 or 2,000 ringgit, all the way till the government, right? So in Malaysia, we have, and pitchIN has all of this in our network. We have VCs who will invest through pitchIN. We have angel investors who will also invest on pitchIN deals. We have family offices. We have sophisticated investors. We have we also have as I just mentioned, the government itself has placed a fund, just announced 80 million ringgit for the coming year.
Yeah.
So they have a co-investment fund that will also fund along with the crowd of investors, right? So what that means is that when you come to an equity crowdfunding platform, you actually have access to a whole range of investors. And at pitchIN, what we have done so far, and we are quite satisfied with what we have done, is that over the last 5 years, and it's been accelerating. In other words, in the last 2 years, we have done maybe 3 to 4 times what we have done in the first 3 years. We've helped fund over 120 companies, and we have just crossed in 2 weeks ago the 200 million funded level. So we have raised 200 million for companies in Malaysia. Thank you for that. And it's still
Amazing.
going. It's still going strong. Lots of companies, as you know, properly just ended. Their campaign has just closed successfully. And of course, we have done MHub, and together with that, at least 4 to 5 other companies. So really, it's a way for everybody to come and check out the Malaysian scene, get access to Malaysian startups, but not just startups anymore. The other news that I want to share just before I hand it back to you is that 3 days ago, the government has revised the guidelines for equity crowdfunding. And with the new guidelines, companies like pitchIN are now allowed to have deals that can raise up to 20 million ringgit on the platform. So in other words, yes. So in other words, almost any company that is not public listed, whether they want to raise a pre-seed round or a seed round, or whether they want to raise a pre-series A or a series A, all of these companies are now able to come to pitchIN, and we really look forward to dealing with any company. Thank you.
Very interesting. And yeah, now you are a pre-seed to Series A, B, and so on.
Yes,
very interesting. Good to know. Is a natural growth, I think, of the market, of the ecosystem.
Yes.
We have been seeing fintech back 5-6 years ago going up to the star, to the sky with funding. We are now seeing Proptech. Every day there are news of Proptech solution getting millions of US dollars in funding in US and Europe. We are now waiting for the wave to come here. But while waiting, Vincent, yes, tell me in few sentences. I know you have a few very strong and impressive sentences that I like very much, because Vincent is a person that looks at fact, not talk too much. Just tell us what you have done.
Doctor, I'm going to take 2 minutes, but I'm going to use my slide to help me, all right? If it's okay.
Okay.
So can you see my slide now?
Yes, perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, MoneySave is a licensed market operator, P2P crowdfunding, slightly different from ECF, where pitchIN is. Both of us are market leaders today, okay? So our purpose is nation building. We want to crowdfund 1 million SMEs and reach 10 million families in ASEAN the next 5 years. Just like pitchIN, we surpassed 200 million ringgit as of this week. We have the past 18 months that we are in the market. That makes us the fastest growing P2P crowdfunding platform in Malaysia. We are at 0 default rate, maybe because the quality of the clients that come to MoneySave, 79% of it is A, B, or C rated by CPOS or Experian, which are world-leading credit rating agencies in Malaysia. We are multi-award winning platform using MoneySave's mobile apps. Yeah, I'm going to play a 17 seconds video only. Go to our apps. Find the company that you want to invest in. Read about the company. If you like the company, key in 5,000 ringgit, 5 ringgit, 5 million ringgit, up to you. It's your money. You like them, invest in them. In 17 seconds, you have crowdfunded Malaysian SME. In 2021, we have benefited more than 5,000 SMEs and reached 100,000 families. We have crowdfunded between 10,000 to 25 million ringgit per SME without collateral. Our single largest exposure today is a famous company called Potboy. All right. They are at the moment about 20 million with us without collateral. We finance them short term, 1 to 10 months, different from equity crowdfunding, where they have to sell shares to you. Sorry, yes, in a way, the SMEs have to sell shares. On MoneySave, we do not need to take your shares. So that's a very fundamental difference. That's why we are at the Series A, pre-IPO stage series or revenue generation series. We take less risk compared to ETF and MBAN investors. We have crowdfunded in aerospace, logistics, marine logistics, and so on.
Very good.
We have invested in pet shops and also power plant consultants. In 30 minutes, on the 9th of September, we crowdfunded 10.3 million, ladies and gentlemen. Online, live, 10.3 million. We believe it is the fastest and biggest crowdfunding to be done in less than 30 minutes. And Dr. Daniel, on that day itself, 10.3 million ringgit was dispersed to the SME. In 2026, we will have crowdfunded 12 billion ringgit. That's our target. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like MoneySave, we want to know more, this is the contact point. And we also have a 20 ringgit voucher for all of you all to enjoy MoneySave. Thank you, Doctor.
Very, very interesting. And three very different approach. Three extremely different approach. Jason, can I tap in your brain to comment a little bit on angel investor, crowdfunding, and MoneySave? As an experienced recipient of funding.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Daniel, and thanks, panelists. I cannot speak about MoneySave because we've not had first-hand experience. But what you're sharing today, Vincent, is very eye-opening and something that we'll definitely explore in due time. But having really started from the ground up, MHub, we were, like you said, Dr. Daniel, the early stage, right? We were self-funded from the start. When we started, and it was just very small and lean. We worked on cafes. If you see sometimes those people cafes on the laptop, that we were one of them. So we went cafe hopping. Some cafes that we used to go is no longer around, but we are still around, so thank God for that. But really, I think the Malaysia's ecosystem and funding is very vibrant. I think there's no doubt about it. In fact, when I go for different programs, we see people from different parts of the world coming to Malaysia because the investments are happening, the excitement is there, there is government support, there is the political will to do so. So no doubt about it, it's vibrant. However, it's not without challenges, like what Alan did say, it's about the match. It's about the right connections. In our own experience, we've been, I think, easily over 100 pitches and 100 different fundraising efforts, right? Myself, my partners, Quack, Joshua, and John, we've seen it all. We've experienced it all. We've been rejected time and time again. But I think like what Alan said also, it's really the grind. It's always the grit. You can't stop. You just have to keep doing and doing and doing. We are the recipient in the early days of a Malaysian grant called the Platform Ventures for Agency University Malaysia. That was what kicked us off to start with the pre-commercialization. And then during the commercialization phase, of course, we went with, we talked to Nexia at one point. We also we entered the Tiger's Lair. We survived. However, I think that one we did not come across as champions, but we're still alive today, right? And then also, of course, definitely with pitchIN, very good experience with that. There was a physical event. There was a lot of excitement and buzz, and the pitchIN team was very helpful to get us to our goals, right? But I think the real challenge in talking about property specifically, because it is B2B as opposed to a lot of B2C startups that's raising money. And when we are going for these efforts, actually it really depends on the people that we're talking to. I've been to many live pitching events. Sometimes I observe the people on stage and people like listening. If it's not in their area of, if they have no funds in that regard, or their focus areas or their mandate or whatnot, then usually immediately they tune out because it's not an area of their knowledge, right? It's fair. Like even if you get a room of people, of investors, and we talk about property, they may be more interested in B2C stuff. So when you're not meeting the right audience, then the connection won't happen. There's a mismatch, right? And we're talking about property is the largest asset size in the world. So and there's the other challenge that we have is because property and Proptech is very new. Worldwide, if you talk about other kinds of tech or scale up or startups, there is reference points, right? For example, if Grab, My Taxi early on, you can look at Uber, right? Or many other models that we can refer to. But when it comes to PropTech, there's not many. So when that was our challenge as MHub, when we started doing this, there's no reference point. But we just kept with it. And that's why pitchIN came in helpful, because it's not raising from VCs or angels per se directly, but it's from a curated community of our own. And when we went via pitchIN, we got a lot of interest from people within the property industry, within that sector, who understands the pain point and understands that the potential of it. And the same thing also, I mean, just my last point is that when you look at it globally, global investors, we've talked to a bunch, like the likes of Sequoia and many others, right? They don't just look at the startup on its own, they look at the country as well, the markets that you're in, right? And things like political situation and how is it, and then potential market targeted, all these things come to consider. You may be the best company, the best idea, the best team, but the markets you're in, if it doesn't excite the investors, then they will stay away. So that's our
if the when and the where are not there, you might be getting slept, even though you would deserve to be sayanged.
And I've had conversations with Cash about this, and I shared it during our own pitch, is that there's 5 key things, right? You're talking about idea, the team, the business plan, the timing, and finally the timing. Timing is really very, very crucial in this regard.
Strategic. As far as a strategic factor in property investment, so does for startup investment. Now, let me look at funding from a different approach. I put myself in the shoes of a startup. Okay, I am already at seed and around the seed level. I am in the market. I'm producing revenue. I have profit. I approach MBAN. How do I approach MBAN? Website. I apply inside in the website. I try to be as concise as possible, as precise as possible, and as sexiest as possible. Then I go into a pitching where I need to dare to enter the Tiger's Lane. By the way, Tiger's Lane is the Malaysia winning alternative and different platform compared to the Shark Tank in US. I like very much the Tiger Lane. Honestly, you need to be much braver to enter a Tiger's Lane than a Shark Tank. I've been with Shark, and I never been with Tiger, and I will never in my life. So you really need to dare. You enter there, you get a commission, a judge panel that select the 1-2 best. This 1-2 best will be introduced to the investors. And at that time, your fight will start, because investors give you money in exchange of equity, most of the time. Am I right? Then I go to pitchIN. pitchIN is actually pampering me, is talking to me, understanding my stage, understanding my product, adjusting my pitch, training me for the pitch, doing marketing. With pitchIN, what is important is do not ever give up. Keep on pitching, keep on introducing to different platforms, through different events that pitchIN is organizing for you. And at the end, the miracle happens. You hit the sum, the amount that you defined worth your pitching. Or you approach Vincent. Now, here is the difference that to me is I will approach 3 of you as a startup, but in some circumstances, above all in a fluid market situation as we are today, might be pushing some of the startups saying, wow, I get fast cash, I don't need to give up any equity. What Vincent is looking at, correct me if I'm wrong, Vincent, is am I commercialized? Am I producing revenue? I do have any contract to show and say, I can pay you back. I show with my forecast that I can pay you back. And above all, I'm willing to pay a bit higher interest, not alone, not shark lender. That's to me very clear. MoneySave is a licensed platform. I need to be ready to pay a higher cost for money. But at the end, I get what I want in a very fast way, kind of. How do you think startups should be choosing between the 3 of you? Alan, tell me, why should I choose you?
First, first of all, I think we have to understand the space, right? So in the case of angel investors, this is in the very, very early stage, pre-seed, seed. You know, the most that you will talk to an angel will be up to a sort of a pre-Series A stage. So
3 to 4 million.
That's right. So this is a stage where you have your idea, you have done your MVP, you have probably done your product market fit, and this is where you go out and then you talk to investors, and the stage that you are in is either in the pre-seed or seed stage, right? So the right people for you to talk to, or rather the wrong people you should not be talking to, is VCs and beyond, because they do not invest in this particular space. So this is the space of what Dr. Daniel, you have mentioned just now, is the 3F, family, friends, or the fools, right? So we consider ourselves the fools, the angels.
Followers.
All followers. And this is the stage that we comes in. We understand it to be extremely high risk. And we are doing it based on equity. Yeah, and we take the risk together with the startup. So that is basically the main difference that we are dealing with. Although we do prefer if you could come in with your friends and family or your own money first as a startup, to show your level of commitment. So that is
you finance the idea, providing the idea generator has been already putting in till his last cent, kind of. Can I say so?
Yeah, you can say so, but it's not necessarily so. Also, it's not necessary that you have an MVP. You could be working on an MVP. We personally, you know, for me, I have also funded company that came with me. I remember a startup that came with me with 7 PowerPoint slides, and that's all they have. We have funded them because this is the stage. It's not about the business. It's about the team.
Yeah.
Right? If it's the right team, we are totally okay with it as well.
Very good. Very good. pitchIN. Cash.
Very quickly, I think the big difference, I think, between what especially Vincent or MoneySave is doing and pitchIN is doing is simply the balance between equity and a loan, right? So if you can take a loan, most companies would prefer to take a loan if they can return back the loan quickly, right? So, but typically the companies that come to pitchIN, because they are from the seed to the early stage to fast-growing SMEs and all that, equity becomes cheaper because they're long-term capital, right? So you can, you give away shares, but they are long-term. You don't need to return back the money immediately. So it makes sense to a lot of these companies. But for us, is really the founders should explore all the opportunities, see which way that they want to fund and go for it. But if they come to us, they're giving away equity, and they typically finding, as you rightfully say, a lot of followers who will become their evangelists for years. You promote those companies for years. Thank you.
Very good. Practically, you are kind of walking hand in hand with a startup.
Sure. Yes.
You prepare them, you adjust them, you teach them, you train them. Vincent, I come to you with 5 million. I need 5 million tomorrow morning. But I have a 20 million contract with Mr. ABC. What can you do for me?
Excellent. If you have revenue generations, you don't have blacklist in CTOS, CCRIS, we have up to 25 million for you. So 5 million is not a problem. You have a contract, your paymaster is strong. We validate that contract with you, all right? Chances are between 3 to 15 working days, all right? You'll be funded in 30 minutes. Simple as that.
Yeah. And in 30 minutes, I will get the money, right?
No, before 5 o'clock the same day.
Joking. Alan, how long it takes for me from winning the Tiger's Lane till getting my 3 million?
The quick answer to it is within 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Yep, and that is because it's an equity investment.
Yeah.
And due diligence, legal documents, term sheets, and all that need to be put in place to protect both parties.
I fully understood. Cash, how long it takes to me to get my 3 million?
You'll get it within two weeks to a month, as long as you do your part of all your company secretarial work and all that.
That means I need to run a lot.
Yes.
Jason, pick yours. Now that pitchIN is open up to 25 million, man.
20 million.
You are A series already, ready to go for it.
I just texted my leadership team, and there's something that is brewing. The gears are turning already.
Because you have to, being very honest, you have two very good choice here. One is pitchIN, and the other one is, and one is Vincent.
Yes.
I feel like I'm in the somewhat Tiger's Lair now as well. Wow. It's the reverse. It's the reverse. It's the reverse Tiger's Lair.
Exactly. They are pitching to you.
Yes, exactly. And now, we are just waiting for Vincent to look like a 17-year-old sexy-looking girl. Don't let us touch her ass, kind of thing.
I'm not sure if there's filters like that.
Alan and Cash, I think we should do this more often, frankly, on a monthly basis. Because three of us understand we are funding different segments altogether.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Exactly.
And we are here to nation build together, actually,
Precisely.
And, if we do this very often, we save time, We pitch to 1,000 people at one go. We don't have to sit down and wait for 5 people per day to pitch to us.
Exactly.
We pitch to them, they contact us. Paperwork is the rest of the thing.
Yeah,
I think that's an excellent idea, seriously, Vincent. I really think that would help because, again, so much time is being spent doing the pitching and meeting different ones, and really and we are spending so much time doing this rather than the actual business itself sometimes. And that that's an I would say not good, although it does question us and gives us and refine us further and all that, but I think really we can tighten this process if people can come together and work together. We are currently raising Series A. But for us, it's not just about money. I think a lot of startups the same thing. It's not, and scale ups. It's not just about the money. There has to be a strategic partnership as well, consideration. I'll just put it as that. Yeah.
Let me just add in the other side of the equation that is not addressed here, and that is the investors, right? So it really makes a lot of sense for investors to come and check out the industries and the areas that we mentioned here today, the solution from MoneySave or pitchIN and MBAN and all that, because they actually make sense, right? So I'm pitching what you experienced, and I won't give the details, but if you had invested in MHub just less than 3 years ago, you are looking at a very good capital gain. And I'm not talking in terms of theory, because we have seen secondary transactions at MHub of people who have sold their shares and others have bought at a very good upside. So you do look, so for investors really should check this out, because there are a lot of good opportunities for great Malaysian companies.
You know what? Before Angela kills me, because Angela is already loading her gun to shoot me. So
I hate to stop you. Yep.
Last promise, I commit myself on behalf of MPA, Malaysian Proptech Association. You know that we have a virtual expo, where, by the way, MoneySave will have a booth starting from December. We, of course, invite also pitchIN and MBAN to approach our team and open a showcase of
we
what
do have coming up.
Oh no, you also have. Yeah, you have also. It's only MBAN that doesn't. And
sure, we'll get it done.
In the future, MPA, what we'll organize is every maybe 2 months, not to make it too often, a symposium of maybe a couple of hours where 3 of you will pitch to our community and our community will pitch to you. It will be a very nice platform, way of communicating. As you are saying, Alan, I have heard you very clearly, and I couldn't agree more. Sometimes chicken and duck talking together are not matching. And this is what is happening too often, unfortunately. We don't know how to present ourselves, what you want to hear, what we should be highlighting. And this exchange of communication over a platform, independent kind of, because we are a non-profit organization, so we are just inviting everyone come and talk to each other. I promise we have an appointment in January, first set of this type of roundtable. So please keep a few days available for that.
Will do.
And first of all, I would like to thank you all and Angela for being so patient. I think, Angela, you give me only 1, 2, 3, 4 more minutes because I give 1 minute each to give a closing sentence. Then we move all in roundtable 1 because I would like to keep on the role bowling, and I guess there will be several of our public coming over to the roundtable. Alan, you go first. 1 minute.
Sure. Instead of let me put a question to the audience here instead of the other way around. So a dollar note looks like this, right? And it comes with the 4 corners. In the case of Mandarin, the corners is called jiao. It sounded exactly like legs. So a dollar note has 4 corners, it has 4 legs. What I'm telling you is that money has 4 legs. And if you chase after money, money will run faster than you, right? Because money got 4 legs, right? Now, Dr. Daniel and the audience, this is the point I'm trying to make. Now, what if I tell you there's a way to make the money to chase after you? And since money has 4 legs, wouldn't money get you for sure? Yes. The question is, between you chasing money and the money chasing after you, how do you get that U-turn?
Yeah, I agree with you.
As a startup founders,
1 minute. So.
You shouldn't be chasing after money. You should get the money to chase after you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Think about it, and we can discuss in another session. On
in the round table.
Yes.
In the round table.
Sure.
I like the money making a U-turn. Cash, 1 minute.
Well, I think I just want to highlight for people all around the world who are listening to these opportunities in Proptech that the system and the area that we are in is a great region to invest in. There are all kinds of fantastic investment opportunities, and if you want to catch them at the early stage, way before they go public, then platforms like pitchIN is the place to come to. Thank you.
All right, very good. Vincent.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute. Please screenshot this particular item, okay? Because it summarizes what we can do for you. Basically, 25 million ringgit without collateral, without assignment or payment, all right? You just need to have a viable business, already revenue generation, okay? So on the left-hand side for SMEs, for investors, all right? There's nothing like filling it yourself. Please snapshot here, 20 ringgit for you to start investing on MoneySave. Free money actually, okay? Don't like it, do a redemption, you get 20 ringgit free. So that's all I can say. Thank you very much.
To get the 20 ringgit free, you have to key in apps 21 at 20.
That's right.
Apps 21 at 20. And by the way, allow me to say one advertisement word because Vincent is one of our sponsors. Follow us at 2:30. There will be another very interesting presentation exclusively on Vincent platform. Jason, 1 minute.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. I'll just say that there are a lot of opportunities in Malaysia, and if you look at PropTech growth as an industry, I think it's very, very colorful in this Asia-Pacific region, simply because we are a developing nation. People from all around the world, when they see Malaysia, I've heard of stories where PropTech, what's that? Is there potential? And then they see Malaysia, they see the properties being built up, they see the high rise, they see the developments, and they say, wow, it makes sense. That's why innovation and technology is also rising up and meet that demand. So it's a very exciting space. It's very, like all the panelists, esteemed panelists say here, it's the potential is that if you see it now, this is my last line, is like visionaries see common sense before it's common. Right? So if you see it and if you catch that within your heart and you say, wow, this is the largest asset size, the pandemic is waking people up, the where you stay is so important. You want a safe environment, you want a conducive environment to work and all that. PropTech is the place that is going to make it happen. And I think the rest is up to you. The wave is building up. If you want to catch it after the wave is up, it's too late. You gotta start pedaling to it now, so that when the wave comes up, you rise up with it. So
don't miss it. Don't miss it. 5 years ago, 2016, fintech raised 28 billion US. 3 years later, 280 billion US. In 2020, Proptech raised 28 billion US. What will happen in the next 3 years? 280 billion. Don't miss the wave. Back to you, Angela. Otherwise, you kill me.
Oh, finally you see me. All right,
I've been
thank
seeing you, admiring you, falling in love for you.
Thank you. I hate to stop you. Yeah, I wish this panel can last for another half an hour, but cannot. We will continue in roundtable 1. Before we end,
please.
I want to highlight this. Thank you, Dr. Daniel, to highlight about the session at 2:30 later, which is very interesting, by MoneySave. Please tune in 2:30 because that is to talk about how to raise 100 million via innovative P2P crowdfunding platform by MoneySave. Okay. Other than that, we are also supporting a cause through this summit. Consider donating National Cancer Society Malaysia and Adult Home of Hope. Please click on the donate button and support this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, panelists, and thank you very much to attend.
See you in the roundtable 1.
Roundtable 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.